And hello, friends. What we have here is a little book, and we're going to attempt to do a book review. And what we have here is a little book. It's entitled The Leg Slapping Adventures of Pa Zeb and Abe. And the author is Roger D. Wright. Now, if you are from the area where I'm at, that should be a familiar name. And this right here should be a familiar face. Yes, children, that is Roger Wright, as in the Roger Wright, who used to work at our local radio station here in beautiful Livingston, Tennessee, and possibly other radio stations. I believe he's also done time as a bus driver, and another couple of things that you can credit Roger Wright for being. You may or may not have known. Number one, he's a tale teller. He's a storyteller. Come to find out. And come to find out again, he is a published author. As the proof is in the pudding right before your eyes there. The Leg-Slapping Adventures of Pa Zeb and Abe. This is available off of Amazon, and this is exactly where I got this book, along with another book that he's written. It's a little bit smaller book. It's like a kiddie type of book, a kiddie Christmas type of book. It's a very adorable little story. But right here we're focusing on the leg-slapping adventures of Pa Zeb and Abe. Now, who are Pa Zeb and Abe? Well, Pa Zeb and Abe are a couple of fictional characters. I'd be reasonably sure that they're fictional because, well, it's the only smart way to write about people. And they are fictional characters living in the hill country, around here, like around this area, in this neighborhood, the Appalachian area. And they are very cute stories. Very cute stories. First of all, paging through here, there's there's a dedication page, forward page. A forward page is written by their son, Jared. And by the way, Roger Wright passed away from us sometime earlier this year. Here's your contents here. So as you can see here, it is exactly as described. It is essentially a short stories collection, a short stories of Zeb and Abe, a couple of, and these guys are brothers. These guys are brothers. They're mountain people, country people, and it's in the story of their life. The copyright is Roger is the author. His wife Gail is the editor and enhancer, and your copyright date is 2015. And here you have all characters in the book have no existence outside the imagination of the author. So yes, these are made up people, but as far as life experiences go, probably there's probably real people behind these stories, or at least real people behind the seeds that created these stories. And so how are the stories? Well, the stories, if you're from around here, I cannot help but imagine, if you're here, if you're from around here, or you're from this area, you're from this part of the country, this Appalachian part of the country, and you read this book, and you read the stories of this book, and you have maybe a little bit of age on you. Let me say that. If you've got a bit of age to you, I would bet there being a very strong possibility that you could read this book and you could read these escapades of Pa Zeb and Abe, and you'll probably read them, and in your head, you'll hear a voice, a familiar voice, a voice from a real person that you have really known in your very real life. And you just read it in their voice because you know that sounds just like them. That sounds just like something that so-and-so would do. And I'll bet you, like I said, when you read it in their voice. You hear their voice. So these are cute little tales of Appalachia, cute little tales of living life here in the country, here in the hills, and it's good. It's pretty good reading, and you should have no trouble reading it. Like I said, especially if you live here in this area. However, I will advise you that there is a little something about this book. Pardon the camera work there. Let me show you something right here. Here we go. Okay, so here you have, this is page 13. You have a nice unobstructed view of the text of page 13. Maybe a little bit of challenge as far as focus is concerned, but you could certainly make it out. What's missing from this picture? What's missing from this page? You know what's missing from this page? Paragraph indentations. Paragraph indentations. The text is essentially dumped onto the page. This is not a criticism. This is just an advisory. You have just pretty much a dump of this right on the page. For all I know, this is quite possibly what Roger may have written himself, like on a legal pad, or perhaps Gail or somebody may have transcribed from Roger telling tales, either telling them straightforward in their presence, or perhaps tape recording or something like that, and they just jabbered everything down just in a linear fashion. Now that might make it a little bit difficult to actually read the pages, but that's probably the only real difficulty that you'll have with reading this book. Now, whether that's an insurmountable problem, I don't know. That's the question you'll have to answer. But as far as the language, it's not difficult. As far as the English, it's not particularly horrific. I imagine if you're a big enough of a grammar Nazi, you'll probably find triggers enough. But as far as normal people just taking in reading, it'll function. Now, like I said, it might be a little bit difficult to read because of, no paragraph organization. But, if you're from this area, or if you know people from this area, it might be worth a pick up. Take a look and read it. They're adorable little stories. They're pretty funny. A lot of them are funny. There's a Halloween story that kind of borders on spooky, but the stories are pretty well put together in a linear fashion. So anyway, if you're interested in like life in Appalachia, life in the country, life in the hills, the leg-slapping adventures of Pa Zeb and Abe would be a reasonably good place to start, in my opinion.